Okay guys, welcome to Turning Point. Now I want to say I'm not going to put any images in this video. Unfortunately, the weather in New York changed radically in the last couple of days and now I got sore throat. It sucks. I did watch all of Turning Point, but I did not watch the kickoff show, if there was a kickoff show. And didn't someone tell me the Digital Media Championship was going to be defended on Impact TV? We didn't see it. If we did, I didn't see it. So that Digital Media Championship is looking less and less like a legitimate championship and more of a gimmick thing. I could be wrong. You guys tell me below. Now, this show was good, but there are a lot of questions. And I'm making it very clear, a lot of questions. Yes, the ending was good with a lot of good stuff. But still, there's questions. Questions. The opening was Ace Austin versus Chris Sabin, which I wasn't sure if it was going to be interesting, which the feud is not very strong. I beat Chris Sabin. That is what the moniker of an Ace Austin. I'll say this. The match is not connected to the feud. The match was very, very good. Chris wins, and in the interview he has, he says at the end of that match, I was going to rip off the shirt, rub it on my ass, and then shove it down Ace's throat. Excuse me. But I decided to keep the shirt. And instead of leaving the shirt as it was saying, I beat Chris Sabin, he put a piece of white tape over it or some whiteout on it and says, I am Chris Sabin. Now, that shirt will probably sell. But the problem is the feud doesn't sell me. It's a floating feud. It's a fill-up feud. I feel sorry for Chris, but then I really feel sorry for Ace Austin because he's really not doing anything. He's not going after the tag championship. He's not going after the X Division championship. I'm just saying. Now, Violence by Design versus Rhino and Heath. It was good to see Eric Young wrestle. Very good to see it. It's good to see that Violence by Design is still relevant. The crowd still hates them. Heath and the Rhino were fine. But the question's going to be now, since Violence by Design won, because you got the EY taking his hockey mask and whacking, I believe, Rhino in the face with it. I'm probably not remembering because I did watch it all the way to the end. It was like 1 something in the morning. I thought because my throat's hurting, I'm tired, I'm going to go to sleep. If I'm right, it was Rhino who ate the pin. Question is it over? And can Violence by Design move on to something else? They need it. I'm just saying, they really need to move on to something else. And give Violence by Design something instead of feeling like they're floating. A lot of these guys are floating, doing nothing. Yeah, they get feuds, but they're not meaningful ones. They're just feuds to keep them busy. Now, we had the match, the incredible match that is supposed to give honor to the Sam Beal? And that is Rick Swann versus AVSK, not Brian Myers, because Brian Myers said that he was hurt and he couldn't be there. Why? This was dumb. Ziggy Dice was there. Fine. Love me some Ziggy Dice because he can be stupid. But why didn't Brian Myers come out? Now, mind you, in real life, if he's sick, because they kept making stories that he has this, he has that. Of course, we know a storyline. But if he was really sick, I can understand it. I could fully understand it. But here, they keep saying they changed what he has, his symptoms. He has some type of glucose problem, then he had some type of enzyme problem, then he just got hurt, and why didn't he just come out and attack a Rick Swann? That would have been better than not being there at all, and the match was short, and it really didn't mean anything. I'm just saying. I'm moving on. DK versus the Inspiration. Oh my gosh. Here's where it gets very interesting. The match wasn't that bad. Now, we still got the same suspects. We still have the same awkwardness from Jessie. I'm sorry. Look, the woman can talk to a good extent. She could easily be a manager. Jessie can easily be a manager and sometimes wrestle. I'm not lying here, guys. And if Ranger Wrestling sees this, if she hasn't done her turning point review, and I'm sure she might do it, I know she loves them. I know there are a lot of people who love the inspiration, men and women, not just the men who love this and the women who love this. They like their characters. Both of them do have good characters. Cassie has a good character. She can easily get over. She's a good wrestler to a certain extent and can be a good manager, no problem. She can do either one. But when it comes to Jessie, at one point during that match, unless she's one of the greatest actresses I've ever seen, to make herself purposely look incredibly awkward in the ring when she gets in a situation when it gets really physical and she's getting shoved around, she looks incredibly awkward. Now, when she's in a double team, she looks okay. No problem with it. When the pace of the match is slow and it does not involve heavy physicality, she does her moves okay. When she's in a double team and she's double teaming someone, she looks okay. Her attitude looks okay. But the moment that it gets too physical, she breaks down into something incredibly awkward, like she's a first-year wrestler that literally is going to get hurt. Literally. And I'm not saying this because I hate the woman. I've never hated the Iconics. I never hated Jessie or Billy Kay. I'm just saying, as an honest reviewer, what you literally see on the screen. She's like this at certain points, crunched over, where most wrestlers, female or male, would not act like that, whether they're a heel or a face. And she gets very awkward naturally. I don't believe she's doing this on purpose. This is her when at certain moments it's like literally she forgets what it means to be a wrestler and she doesn't hold herself correctly, and when she gets thrown back into something, she literally looks like she gets hurt. Now, if she really is a really good actress, more power to her, because she literally depicts herself as a very awkward wrestler who could easily get hurt. But in double team, she looks all right. In single, when it's slowed down heavily, she looks all right. But when it gets really fast paced, she looks really awkward. And I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's me or literally when you look on the screen, you see Jessie just looks really bad. And I was not surprised they won because I knew guys, if they lost, what the fuck was the point of giving them the title? Instead of building them up and making them meaningful, instead of letting them build themselves up naturally and letting them have the opportunity to really get over with the crowd, if they had dropped them back to decay, that would have been the most stupidest thing Impact would have done. And not only would I chew them out, I would have laughed at them for being so dumb. I'm just saying. Now, the triple threat for the... Oh! I have one question now. Who do they face now? Tell me below who you think they should face. Because the question's going to be, who are they going up against now? They've already beat the Undead Brides. They've already beat now DK twice, even though they had to cheat. Are they going after who? Are they going to go after Tasha Steelz and Sienna Evans? Are they going to go after, well, counting on whenever the wonderful Tennille Dashwood comes back, if she's all right, along with Madison Rayne? Will she go up against Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering? Who do you think is going to be first? The only ones I can think of is Rachel Ellering and pretty much, I don't know what they're going to be doing with Jordan Grace right now. But the question is, will it be them? I'm just saying. Trey versus a Macklin versus a Dorado Kid for the X Division title. This was a very good match. It was good. Macklin did McLean did one hell of a job. But here was the question. Who do you believe was going to win? Did you believe it was Dorado Kid? I didn't. Not 1 second did I believe this was about Dorado Kid. He was the third wheel in this entire situation. He was thrown in there to be a distraction. 100%. Because this was about Macklin, and the Trey Miguel. Ow, that hurt. This was about them. And by the end of it, I knew it had to either be Trey or it's going to be Macklin. It had to be. And what happened? Once Macklin managed to nail a Dorado Kid, and then once Trey managed to nail Macklin doing a Meteora, pretty much Macklin, well, how can I say this? Trey was more angry that he could not pin Macklin than he was pinning Dorado Kid, which undercuts Dorado Kid. This is what I kind of hate. Dorado Kid, great wrestler, could easily be an X Division champion on his own. Easily. He gets to eat the pin. Macklin kicks out at the same time as he eats the pin because Trey pins them both and Macklin manages to shoot that shoulder up. And he's angry that he could not pin Macklin. Now who still has the option to say, I'm still not pinned, I'm still not submitted, even though I'm in a match that I didn't succeed in winning in. I'm still somebody that has never been defeated. And is pissing off Trey, and then it undercuts Dorado Kid, who easily should be a champion, doing something. He should be in a tag team going after a championship, or he should have already won the X Division as it was. I'm just saying, this is just how it goes. This is still about Macklin, and it's still about Trey, and Dorado Kid is just thrown to the wayside. Now, what goes on next? Of course, Macklin and Trey are now going to break off from Dorado Kid and work on their own. And sooner or later, Macklin must win that damn title. He must. This is not about Trey anymore. This is about when, not if Macklin wins, when he wins. Because if he doesn't win and Trey beats him, what was the damn reason for Macklin to go through all of this? It's not enough. He's not going to get a great rub from Trey. I'm sorry. Working with Trey is here. Macklin is somewhere here. He has that much momentum right now. Even though Trey's loved, Trey isn't a world champion. Trey isn't a tag champion right now. He was before. Well, no, he wasn't before either. I mean, let's put this in perspective. He's an X Division champion, yes. And people love him. I still love him. But he's not giving a Steve Macklin a huge rub. It's like a small rub, and it's already worked, and he's here. So he's got to win the title. Trey's got to drop it. I'm just saying. Now, the match, I believe, was the best match of the night. Mercedes Martinez versus a Mickie James. This was the best match, singles match of the night without a gimmick in it. Just a straight up match where there was a good story that these two women knew each other for years. And now it's about a title. This is where you can honestly see 100% what two veterans of the business can do. Two veterans that both have worked, one 20 years, the other one almost 17 years. And a Mickie and a Mercedes Martinez. I believe Mickie's been in the business almost 17 years. And I believe she's been in 20 years for Mercedes. One's 20, one's 17. Only a 3-year difference. That doesn't make a difference. They're both great workers. They're both great veterans. And this is the match that you got to watch. If you want a straight up match that has a good story behind it with Mercedes and Mickie James, it is it. This match was that damn good. It was. In the end, I was not surprised that... No, I take that back. I was kind of hoping Mercedes was going to win. But there was a good, strong chance she was not going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. And I was right. Mickie retained. And right after that, guess who whooped her ass? She got that ass whooped by a Deonna Purrazzo. And says at Hard to Kill she wants a rematch. Now it's been set up. But here's where it gets interesting. Which adds a little more spice, baby. Scott said in an interview just a little bit after that, because she made the request, and that is Deonna, and he said, okay, it's been set up for Hard to Kill. Deonna's getting her shot. But we need to have a new number one contender. So for the first time in history, because Impact likes to do that, which they do, let's be honest, even though NWA is the first oldest known promotion to spotlight women, and I'm not saying they're the first, they're the oldest. They're older than WWE as an American wrestling promotion. Not the oldest wrestling promotion. One of the oldest American wrestling promotions that still exists, that started working with other major promotions and regional major promotions. And if anybody says it's not the oldest promotion, stop it. I'm talking about an American wrestling promotion that worked with other promotions under its banner. That is it. Not before the WWE, it was the NWA. Remember, 1949, before that, they were all small regional ones, until the NWA became what it was as the first major promotion that worked with a whole bunch of them. That's it. But Impact Wrestling, as one of the only and the first, not the only, but the first ones to do stuff for women, has now said the X Division match, called Ultimate X, is now going to be transferred over to the women at Hard to Kill. Not permanently, just this time Ultimate X will be done with knockouts. I'm going to say that again. The match where they're almost over 10 feet in the air, over 10 feet, over the ring, with the X, on a chain, with scaffolding. The knockouts are going to wrestle Ultimate X. Now, many people are going to say, oh my God, that's awesome. I'm saying, let's wait and see if it will be awesome. This isn't about a ladder match, guys. This is not about a ladder match. This is completely different. This is Ultimate X. And unless they're going to bring down the rope a little bit lower for the women, it's going to be different. And I'm not saying the women won't be able to do it. They probably be able to make it really damn good. The question is, can they handle a Ultimate X match and make it look good? A lot of male wrestlers can always make Ultimate X look good. So it's going to be the women's chance to do it. Hopefully they can do it. I'm just saying. It is interesting though. Now, the Good Brothers versus the Bullet Club. Now, this is the one match I say, why? Why? Hikuleo and Chris Bay should have won the match. It was a good match. It wasn't the most spectacular tag team match I've ever seen, but it was good. It was good. But I just don't understand why they let them keep the titles. It would have been better if Bullet Club had it, because then FinJuice would have more of a connection to Bullet Club, because they were part of Bullet Club. It would make the Good Brothers look like something interesting, because they were part of Bullet Club. It would make it much better to see them chasing after someone who's of the current Bullet Club, because FinJuice isn't part of it, and neither are the Good Brothers, and those two needed them, particularly Hikuleo screaming that we're the true Bullet Club, and they wipe the floor with them. They hold on to the titles. This is what's pissing me off. Because they should have won. They could have a three-way feud between them, Finjuice, and it would make sense. Bullet Club, being the one who's in charge of the titles, will make the Good Brothers look better. Will make Finjuice look better because they gotta fight for it. Finjuice as well as the Good Brothers can interchange anytime facing Bullet Club in the back, in talking points. No. What a waste. What wasn't a waste was the debuting Jonah. Now, I had said this on my Gump Report, which should be released Monday or Tuesday. And I knew there was a good chance that Jonah could come to Impact Wrestling because he was spotted in New Japan and facing a Moose. So, here's where it starts. Josh comes down to the ring. Josh makes it very clear that he was told by Scott over and over again that you allowed your anger to get control of you. You're not focused. You need to be focused. Well, he says, you know what? I'm pissed the fuck off. But I'm focused. I want my match. I want it. No one's going to stop me. I will get back my title. And then we hear some music and we see on the Titantron the one word that everyone was wondering. Jonah comes out, and not only does he beat the shit out of, he destroys him with not one senton, not two, not three. He does 4 sentons and 2 frog splashes and makes his mouth bleed out. He's bleeding through his nose and mouth. Everyone's trying to protect him. Everyone's trying to save him. And he literally destroyed him. So that is his first feud. They let Jonah come in incredibly strong. Bronson Reed. So strong. Shocking. And good. That was a good debut. Now the question is going to be, like I told one of my subscribers, they can bring in so many new people, but the question is, can they write for them? He had a good, strong opening on Impact Plus, which easily is going to make it very interesting because I believe Twitter was at 6. They were 6 trending on Twitter. Good. Now the question is, can they write for Jonah? Can they write a good feud for a Josh Alexander, a redemption story that he was here? He got destroyed by Moose. Then he started coming back up, and then Jonah nailed him back down, and then you see him rising again to try and get that damn title again. As I told one of my subscribers, I do not see Josh turning heel. It makes no sense. A redemption story needs to be done first before he turns heel. And this is part of it. I just hope they can write it correctly. Finally, we get the Full Metal Mayhem match without a cage because the environment they're in Las Vegas is too small for it. And that is Moose versus almost forgot. I almost forgot, guys. The reason I didn't really mention much about Matt Cardona and Morrissey because it's not really that necessary. It's about what happened to the match, not about the match itself. Now that match, Moose helps Morrissey to win. In this match, it is returned, but I'll explain that in a moment. Was this a good match? Yes. It was the second best match of the night. Literally the second best match of the night. And the best match of the night in gimmick. It was. It was Full Metal Mayhem, and they took total advantage of this match. Now, as I said in my Impact review, I wasn't that interested in Moose and in Eddie Edwards. We know them. The reason they picked Eddie was because he was a safe bet, like I said in my review. He was a total safe bet. That's the reason why they went with him. They knew that Moose knew him very well. Eddie knew Moose well. They knew how to work well together. So this was a safe bet for the first title defense for Moose. There was no lie about that. There was no problem with that. That's the way it went. And was this a good match? Yes, it was. At one point when the backdrop happened to Moose onto that table, Moose, the imploded the table. It wasn't that he just broke it in half. He literally shattered it like it was basically like what did it call it? Like peanut brittle. Basically, he peanut brittled the table with his own ass. It was a good match, but in the end, Morrissey did come out to help Moose. And just like everyone wondered, will Moose continue to go? And will Morrissey be his next opponent? Yes, because Morrissey's been given the option because Moose helped him in his match. Now Morrissey came out, helped Moose with him. Flat out. But I gotta admit, a couple of times it did look kind of nervous wracking for Moose because he did look like he kind of got concussed a couple of times. And then you see that how can I say this? With the power bomb onto the ladder. From the top, there were two ladders. One that was cross and one that was on top. When you see Eddie's leg go through the ladder, and then when the ladder crumples in, you wonder if Eddie might have broken his leg. And it looked like he didn't. Let's just hope he didn't, because he shouldn't have been able to walk at all. But you never know, he could have hurt himself. Let's just hope he didn't blow out his knee or anything. When he went into that ladder, it crumpled around his leg. But let me put you like this. Was this a good Impact Plus show? Yes, it was. You'll enjoy it. But there's a lot of questions. When will Morrissey get his shot? Will it be this coming week? Maybe next coming week? Who are the inspiration going up against? Little they got to do something with Jessie. Now, I said this myself. These are tapings. They only been here a very short time. And maybe with time, some people will help them increase their ability to talk. Cass and Jess, you got to understand this is very early days for them, and they can improve their stick and maybe improve their ring work. I'm hoping both will happen, being in a new promotion around new people who will give them some good ideas if they're willing to do them and not think, well, we can continue doing the inspiration. No, if they do that, I'm going to eat them alive no matter who loves them. I'm going to destroy them. If they revert back to the WWE attitude 100% and not expand themselves in the new company within the next 3, 4, 5 months, I am going to destroy them every day. I'm hoping I don't have to do it because I want to see people succeed in their lives. I want to see Jess and Cass, I call it Jessie, but Cass and Jess literally succeed. What is going to happen with Josh Alexander and Jonah? Can they write for Jonah? They didn't write that well for Killer Cross. Can they write well for Jonah while still making sure that Josh Alexander looks great? What's going to happen with Mercedes Martinez now has had her shot. What's going to happen to her now? Will she work with Hernandez and reform the Latin American exchange? That actually would be pretty good. Let her work with the Tasha Steeles. And maybe, well, Sienna Evans could go off on her own and let her work with Tasha Steeles along with Hernandez and make a Latin American exchange for the women. Let him be their manager. That actually would be interesting. But who knows what will happen with Impact. There's no way we know if they're going to write correctly or not. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoyed this Turning Point review. I'm just, with my throat hurting, I feel tired. You know how you feel sick a little bit with your sore throat and everything, and it irks you? That kind of feeling. I might be doing my Survivor Series review. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I want to do Survivor Series. Ugh, it sucks, but I know I'm going to do it. I just feel reluctant to do it. So you will see my Survivor Series review with sore throat. Have a good day. Peace.